They just behave however the heck they want to, do whatever they want to, and who's going to say anything? So I've got a ton of documents that are new related to this case. I've got all the Facebook memes, and I went through them last night, and they're so vulgar I can't even show them. I can't even put them up here. We can't even go through them. And it was through the Facebook Messenger. I mean, LaShawna's the only smart one of them all when it come to that, not having a Facebook. She's learned her lesson probably a long time ago. Because remember, that's what I said. Anytime something happened, people just reach out to Mickey on Messenger. Imagine. He said how many phone calls he had. I'd say he's probably combining that all different platforms. But she was smart about that, not having a Facebook. Man. It's just unbelievable. And you got to be able, like if you're in a position like a judge executive, and then you've got all these magistrates, and, like they hired this company to come in after all the flooding. And I heard them in that special meeting. They were like, somebody said, well, why didn't that money go? Why didn't that job go to somebody local? Why did you have to get somebody from like Lexington, somewhere else, and bring them in here that's not even from here? And one of the magistrates said, because there ain't no local companies who offer all the services that they offered. Well, what services are you even talking about? So you couldn't have hired, even if it wasn't just one person, you couldn't have hired somebody local for all of the needs that were needed, because now on the backside of all of that money that was donated, where's the receipts? Where's the documentation to show where all that money went that you paid these people? They were talking about how the county didn't have enough money. So these people I'm not sure exactly what they were talking about there, but they were saying that whoever it was, they go ahead and they spend their money, and then they get reimbursed somehow. Well, that is how a lot of grant stuff works. It's like matching. So if you have like a matching grant, you got to come up with 25,000, and then this other person, the donor, is going to give you 25,000. But it doesn't have to all be in cash. You can have in-kind donations. What is an in-kind donation? It's your time, or your services, or your equipment, or anything. So you could say, well, we're going to have so many garbage cleanups, and we're going to have 50 people come to this garbage cleanup, and every hour that these 50 people are there counts for so much. And so if you have a whole bunch of, donor people coming and volunteering and doing stuff, they get paid for that. So this person might be coming, volunteering their time, volunteering their money, volunteering their equipment, their services, whatever. Well, whoever's got that grant, all they have to do is write that down and keep track of all that. And that counts as part of their match on that grant. So that's what they were talking about on that meeting that we watched, when that lady got up and was saying, hey, if y'all volunteer, make sure you come tell us. So that way we can write it down. So that way we get our money. But you got to make sure that there's documentation showing where all that goes, what they did with that. And from what I've heard and from what I've seen at these meetings, and just being an observer, I haven't said a word. I've just sat back and observed, and I've watched the posts, the Facebook posts, and I've seen all the announcements, and not all of them, but it looks like they didn't have the evidence, the documentation. They didn't have anything to show. Like, they were really, really, really lacking on the 22 flood. And several people who worked with this bunch of people that came in here said that after so long they left, and then they couldn't never get a hold of anybody. Like, it was hard to get a hold of people when they were trying to, talk to them, communicate with them, whatever, get them to do stuff. But then as soon as this flood happened a few months ago, big flood of 25, up, here I am. I am back, superstar. Man, I'm telling you. You have to then be able to delegate. Like, if you're a judge executive, you might have all the business experience in the world. Your business is thriving, got property everywhere, got plenty of money, But it's a different thing when you're trying to run a county. And there's so many different districts, and you got to keep up with all this stuff. That grant stuff is way different, y'all, than a regular business. It's way different. And like I said, if you just look at paperwork and you're not trained, you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're looking at, you might sign your name right on there and give it a great big old check mark. There you go. Looks good. Thank you for all your hard work. Can I help you as you rob me? Can I help you carry it to your car? And I just mean that in a general sense, too. Oh, man. That's how a lot of stuff goes. It's how a lot of white-collar crime happens. But it's one of the least recognized, counted, prosecuted, sentenced, steal $25 million, and you might serve 10 years. Maybe. Might get probation. You might get house arrest and work release. It's just unbelievable. So far, we're only seeing the court systems. This corruption is being exposed in Massachusetts and Indiana. RJG. There is a difference between actual knowledge and rumor and gossip. Yeah, there is. There is. But if you're hearing a whole lot of rumors about somebody sexually abusing people, I think it's your duty to investigate. Doesn't mean that they're guilty. But if you've got an employee that you're hearing rumors about something like that, is that your first thing? Well, that's just a rumor. That's gossip. I'm not even going to look into that because I don't believe it. That's what it looks like happened. I think a whole lot of people don't think they ever did anything wrong. I think this stuff has been going on for so long, and doesn't matter. Do as I say, not as I do, right?